I am Eject1, and welcome to another episode inside my survival world. You might be wondering why I'm back here, and that is actually for a very specific reason. Now, as you might have read by the title, whatever I put that title as, I have abandoned the old city. Now, it's not exactly abandoned, but the project has officially stopped for the time being until I figure out what else to do with it, if I do decide to do something with it. But there are several things wrong with that area. For one, if I died, since this is my spawn area and I always carry my bed on me, I'd have to run all the way back, and I actually have to make food because it's so far away, because I'd run out of food points. So I don't want to have to keep doing that, because that's just a hassle. So I decided that I'm going to bring the city closer. The other reason being is because I feel like that city took several wrong... I feel like that city could have been made better. So the second reason is because I feel like that city was pushing to be too realistic. And yeah, the city... I feel like that city was being pushed to be too realistic. And I felt like I'm not at a level where I feel like... Not a skill level, but... in terms of Minecraft, because I've only just now gotten diamond tools and diamond armor, which is nice and all, but I don't have... Let me go to sleep here. I'll do a MTV house tours in a moment once I can go to sleep. But I don't really have a... Like, I feel like that city was pushing me too realistic, and the builds are going to be too big for the current state to which I am upgraded to, or like what level in terms of like the Minecraft evolution I'm at. And because I was thinking about getting like crazy materials that I'm not definitely equipped to really go do right now. And so yeah, so I don't want to keep pushing for something that was unrealistic. I'll go grab materials while I talk. So basically I decided, well, I don't want a realistic city. I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. So this is going to be a new city. This is a new city project. This is actually my starter house that I built. I did try to make an episode out of this, but my microphone's audio has been it wasn't working for some reason, and it just didn't go so well. So I did build this off camera, but it was a pretty fun build. Now, as you can see, I did bring a bunch of stuff from the city, and there's a good amount of stuff here. I do have my jukebox. I, of course, had to bring that. The disc is upstairs. This is the first floor. This is the crafting table. This is my map. Now, this is a locked map, because I want to have an evolution type thing where it's like I show, like, maybe I'll have like an old map, and then I'll have a new map that's next to it so you can see the evolution of how this place changed over time. Yeah, so I have that. I have this, of course. I have my cartography table, which I use to lock it. This I'm going to make into my assembly chest, so any materials I'm going to use for builds will go there. The furnace is probably my favorite one, just because how it's integrated. It's sort of that corner thing. This idea here, with it being in the corner like this, is kind of inspired by Railroads Online. I know a lot of people don't really play that, but in one of the builds, so in the game, it's basically like a railroading sandbox game, but one of the things is that they have what is called a telegraph office, and in there, if you go inside of the telegraph offices, they tend to have like this little furnace that is just tucked away in the corner, and that's supposed to provide heat to the person that's doing the telegraphing. So and it's kind of in the corner, so I kind of took inspiration from that and put it here. And so I think it's really cool looking. And then we come up the stairs, and you can see that I have my bed, my red bed that I've carried with me for the whole time now. And then this has all of my extra materials that I don't immediately need, but I wanted to bring with me from the city. So yeah, that is sort of the little MTV tours. And oh yeah, also I decided to make it so I can come up here and have a nice little view of what will eventually be the city, and maybe I'll build stuff over there at some point since I'm a lot closer now. So basically what the plans for this city is, I don't want to build, I mean, I am going to have big builds here. There will be mega builds, but there won't be like, there will be big builds, but I want to try and have like more small builds in this as well. So that is sort of part of the plan. Now if I come here, let's see. Now what else? Now the other city, it feels realistic, and that's okay, that works. I do like realistic cities in Minecraft, but I feel like, I kind of got inspired by the Project Zerth, which there's a video by Paladin Ryan about it. You can go check it out. But he made but basically, so someone made what's called a Project Zerth, which is like the oldest city map in Minecraft, and I really like that approach to building a city, where it was much simpler style of building. It was a lot of basic building blocks and stuff, and it wasn't, and I don't know, I really like that style, and I want to go for more of a Minecrafty style city. So my plan is so this area here is going to be a village. Not a Minecraft village per se, but it's going to be its own little thing. So if you can see right there, it might be hard to see for you guys, but there is actually, I have a tool for this that I brought with me. I don't know if this will work, but we're going to try. Let's see. Can this work? There it is. So if you see where that white block is, that was a wool block, and that was just so I could mark out the border for where this is going to go. And I want to keep all the builds that I build here in this square, because one thing that annoys me about Minecraft, with the maps at least, is if you have a build on the border, it'll cut it off in half. So you have to have two maps, and that can get annoying. So I want to try to keep everything in these borders as much as possible. And so that's what that is. So that border is I think that border is like right around here. So yeah, I want this to be right on the border. And I want it to be like, so right where this bottom right corner is, I want that to be sort of like a little village made of these buildings. So that's at least the plan for this. And place that there. And we'll stick that there. And then we'll sort of do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go and place the corners in. Let's place the corners. I think, how many floors do I want to make this? Part of me is thinking something like, I might make this 1 floor, but I'll do a T or something. But yeah, so the idea of this is that I'll be able to get out more content in a shorter time period, because I do like to upload every day. I prefer it. But having big projects kind of slows that down. And we will have big builds in this area, because I feel like it wouldn't be a proper city if we did do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we'll do 1, 2, 2. And we'll sort of put these in a grid pattern. The one thing I want to change about this from the other city is the other city didn't have as good of a plan. There wasn't really much of a plan there. And so I really want to, and that's kind of what led to like the spaghetti of mess that was over there. At least I consider it a mess. So we're going to change that up, and I'm going to try and implement more of like it won't be a super tight plan, but I'll have much better city planning structure things going on in the city, going on with this area. That'll hopefully make everything that I build in this city actually fit together much better. I'm not sure if that will be the case, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll put that there. place that. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll just stick this onto there. Because I want to make these different heights. I want to sort of follow this grid pattern or this modular pattern. Do I have any more logs? I do. So for this one, I want to make this a double section. And I think we'll put the door here. We'll do that. Just a very simple... Oh. Just a very simple wall like that. And then we'll put... like that across. Then we'll do that. We're sort of following that design, just so you guys get an idea what this is supposed to kind of feel like. These aren't meant to be super design heavy builds. These are, I mean, it's all one village, but it's a simple village. Sort of just making the windows on every side. All right. Now the plan with this is the cobblestone is sort of I'm gonna raise this grass up to meet the level. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the terrain. I'm gonna bring the terrain up to so it meets a little bit. I don't know, I just think it'd look better if it. I just feel like it would look better if it wasn't just sunken into the ground. At least that's the plan. Okay, now we have that. And I think what we'll do is let's match it to there. Short by 2 blocks, but that's okay. We'll fill these in. Now it's just a matter of filling all this in. I definitely don't have enough for this. I'm not going to use slabs with this. I know I tend to use a lot of slabs, but I'm not going to do that this time. Now I need to get the ceiling filled in. Okay, now what we want to do is go ahead and place in the roof bits, or I'm going to make these all rooftop patios. I'm going to place all these in first. And I don't think we have enough fences for this, but we're going to try. Yeah, we definitely don't. We're a little bit short. Let's see. Can I go get a few more trees? A few more things I should say. Hello, sheep. No, I didn't bring Butters today. I'm sorry. He's unavailable at the... Well, it's a little dangerous for him to be out here at the moment, so... We'll bring him over here in a few episodes. Once it's safe. I would like to bring all my animals and stuff over here, and they will be coming over here soon, but for right now, I'm not going to bring them over here just for their own safety. That is the wrong setup for it. Now, I'm making these builds all the same. Now, I guess this is like sort of a building tip in this, but I guess if you consider a building tip. But one thing I can give advice for is if you're building a group of buildings, even in a city or medieval city or whatever, try to keep... I know you might want to randomize your builds and make them like all random, crazy, different builds, and you can do that. But one advice I can give is to make your builds actually do the opposite of that. So basically don't try to make a So essentially, don't try to make a super crazy, like one building is completely different from the other. Try to play to the same. Try to play to the same style for the whole thing. Because if you try to go outside the style, I mean, now I'm not saying you can't switch up styles, but ideally you want to try and fit with things. You want things to kind of fit together, and so because otherwise it's gonna be because otherwise it's gonna be kind of an eyesore to have two different things that are not together. Um, I don't want to say it's an eyesore, but it kind of would be. I think that's the best way to put it. But the main reason for that is actually, if you think about it, because the problem with Minecraft that we have today is with the storage issue. That I think everyone can agree that that is sort of the big issue. And part of the problem is that you're gathering a bunch of random materials, and the problem is that you can't. The problem with using up random materials is that, especially a lot of times because gathering a bunch of a lot of material, so what am I saying? So one of the issues I see with Minecraft today, which everyone can kind of agree upon, I think at least, is the inventory management issues, which I can kind of agree with. However, so one thing that you can do to kind of manage that, I find, is when you're doing this, sort of try to. Was that a zombie? I hope that wasn't a zombie. But essentially, one thing you can do to help mitigate that is when you're building a build, or like let's say a group of builds, like say this little thing. Notice how I'm building with the same materials. So I'm only using like oak logs and birch and really the same materials. And this means that any excess, because you wind up with a lot of excess. Like these fences, these would be excess if, these would be excess if this was like a one-off build. But because these are repeat builds, I can use them again and again into the next build, which is very convenient for something of this nature. What was I doing? That's right. I was fixing the path. Because I'm tired of looking like this. Alright, so there's that. Where's my... That's right, my bed's over here now. It's a little bit weird having an actual place to sleep. That is like a million blocks away. So yeah, now we're going to go to sleep. So yeah, my tip for this is try to stick with the same build. Try to stick with the same build style. Like, really try to take, like... So, like, when you're building stuff like this, and then you want to transfer it to that, try to build within the same block palette, but also, like, the same build style. Because also, for one, it'll save you on materials. Okay, so my building tip for the day, I guess if this becomes a thing, great. But one thing I could give advice for, if you're looking to build something like this, or a city or anything, and this is something I learned the hard way from my old city, is, what was I getting, first of all? Oh well, it'll come to me. Oh, actually, yeah. So one thing I could give advice for when it comes to building a city is when you're trying to build a city, try to yeah, so when you're trying to build a city, like, don't... What am I trying... Oh, that's what I was doing. I need to make some lanterns. Yeah, so when you're building something like a city or any build that's like this, try to build all your builds in the same style, or just change up the shape and stuff. And the reason being, just change up the shape. And the reason being is because you could build like random things, but then you wind up with a bunch of excess materials that you might not use again. And it just, and it's not that it doesn't look good, but it just kind of looks like it's out of place. Like if I were to build, say, I'm not saying you couldn't build some, like stuff with like crazy details and stuff. And like, I'm not saying you couldn't build stuff unique, but like, just understand it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. And So basically you wind up with a bunch of excess materials, but also because then you wind up with a bunch of materials that are excess that you might not be able to use in that build. But also, when you build your buildings the same way or the same concepts, it really helps tie the buildings together and makes it look like it's all part of the same area, which is what you want. And I'm gonna swap these. I'm gonna swap these lanterns for torches because torches are a lot cheaper and won't burn through my iron as quickly. So that would be one piece of advice I can give. We'll put that there. So yeah, that would be one piece of advice I can give. Just for today, I guess. Alright, now we have this. I've already got a lantern there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now, I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and fill in this flooring space, so this, where the grass is. Just where these two meet. Just the space where these two meet up. I'm not going to go back here yet, because I don't know what's going to go back there. We'll go up to... let's go up to here, let's say. I might swap these out for some bushes later. I have to wait till next episode, though, until I decide. I'm already going to need a bunch of dirt. Come on. I might have enough. Nope. I'm not going to have enough. Oh, actually, I've stand corrected. Alright, we have just enough. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's take a look, step back. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, I'm not too worried about the interior of this today. I'm not too worried about the interior because it's just sort of, well, should I do the interior? I'm not going to bring villagers over here just yet. There's no way I'm bringing them over here, but, maybe we'll make that Butter's house. Actually, we'd have to change the door because he doesn't do well with single doors. But that looks pretty good. And, this is like a nice little start to a brand new build and a brand new era in the Ejecta 1 universe. And, yeah. And as we go along, I will try to explain different aspects between this and the other city and how they contrast and what things I will bring from that city to this, because there are things I will be bringing over from that city to this, like the roads. Now these are pathways, so this is only going to be for like areas like this where it's just a bunch of walkways. But when I do put roads in, I will be using the same the road design that I used before, and I'll probably be using the slabs or the smooth slabs that are from over there on here. So that is just one aspect of it. But a little side note to the walking paths. I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but I want to make this where I want this to be a more walkable city where it sort of rewards you for walking more than driving or taking a horse. So I'm not sure how well that's going to pan out or if I can really pull that off, but that'll be something we can see in the future. And that's just a few things I hope to see with the city. Because this city I feel like will be a lot better because I do have plans for this. So I do have plans for this city, and hopefully I'll be able to pull this off. And yeah, so I'm hoping I think that's all we have time for today. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope I inspired you guys to go build your own new city. And yeah, we'll probably be back to Old City every now and then, but I'm really excited to start this new project. I think it's a really good direction, and it's a lot closer to spawn, so you guys will be able to come and see it, as I've said multiple times in this video. But it'll just be, I want to have I guess another reason I can give you before I close out is because I want to have all my builds closer together, because having the city way out like thousands of blocks is it's nice, but it doesn't really work for me in the sense that, you know, having to go back and forth like for like an hour just walking there is kind of annoying. So yeah, having this like closer, I think will be a much better usage of space and time. But anyways, I think that's all we have time for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you, let me take my helmet off. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, would you please leave a like and hit that and give that subscribe button a high five. So that way, you know, you can keep up to date. And also hit that bell notification. Because if you hit that bell, you see, I don't have a bell on me. But if you hit that bell, you see what's going to happen is you won't miss out on when I upload next, which is pretty important. You don't want to miss that, because I do upload quite a lot. I am going to get back into my schedule, especially with this new style of, well, quote-unquote style. But anyways, I think that is it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and go build your own city, or your own new city, or your own village if you want. And until next time, guys, I'm Ejecta1, and you have been ejected.